Good morning. Today is Monday, September 28th. And there's a great little story in the Bible about a boy named Mephibosheth. And he has a hard name to pronounce, and we don't really read about him too often. But the story of Mephibosheth is one that we can learn a lot from. The backstory is about King Saul and his son Jonathan, who are both killed in a battle. And David, the great King David, takes the throne of Israel and Judah. The thing is, though, King David was not related to Saul and Jonathan, but he became king anyway. And Mephibosheth is Jonathan's son. So rightfully, he should have been the next king. So when David takes the throne, Mephibosheth, a young boy, flees into exile, and on his way into exile, he's injured and becomes lame in both feet, it says. And he lives most of his life in a town called Lodabar. Even the name sounds bad. Lodabar. It's a low place. And he spends his life there until King David decides he wants to make some sort of restitution to the throne of King Saul, and so he invites Mephibosheth back to the royal court and lets him eat at the feast table of the king. And then we're reminded at the end of the story, the last line says, "And Mephibosheth was lame in both feet." And I have often wondered why. Why are we reminded of that after this great story of restoration and Mephibosheth being asked back to the royal court and eating at the king's table? Why remind us of his injury? And I think it is because we bring our injuries with us throughout our lives. Sometimes we want to erase them, pretend they never happened, not think about them anymore. But they help define us. And we should recognize that and accept that the people we are today, it is because we are the sum of everything that has happened in our lives. Things we call good and things we call bad. They formed us into the human being we are today. And sometimes it is our injuries that help make us the better person that we are because we understand the injuries of others, the hurts of others. We can empathize with others. We can do more than just sympathize with them. We can put ourselves in their shoes. And therefore, we understand others a little better. And of course, that helps us understand ourselves. The other thing about Mephibosheth is that others kept seeing him as the lame little boy. Later on in the story, he helps save King David's life, but is actually blamed for the opposite. Somebody else takes credit for that. But both Mephibosheth and David know what really happened. And David, a precursor to the Christ figure, still loves Mephibosheth. Would you pray with me, please? God, continue to draw us closer to you. In all of the things that make up our lives, you embrace each and every one of them, healing us not only of our scars and injuries, but you bring them into our very beings, for you love every fiber of us. Allow us to see not only ourselves, but others in this light too. Amen.